is going on, everybody, and welcome back to MLB The Show 21, our franchise mode here with the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pirates are currently 70-70 as we are here on episode number 39, as this season is quite winding down. Only a couple more games left as we are in September 10th is going to be the date. Today's video is going to be a little bit of a different video, but before we get into today's video, if you guys do enjoy today's video, be sure to leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more amazing content, because only you can make a difference for today's channel, so your support is greatly appreciated. And with that being said, today is going to be a little bit of a player update, player recap, kind of a team recap overall. We're going to be getting into the minor leagues a little bit as well. Later in this video, we are going to be talking about some of the major league performers. Not going to talk about exactly everybody, because we have talked about those guys. If you guys watch the videos, you can look down and see these guys are performing well, but we are definitely going to be giving a shout out to a sizable amount of the players that have been a part of this franchise for the season. I know today is not going to be any gameplay, unfortunately, so unfortunately we are not going to be getting into that. But with that being said, guys, let's talk into the first couple of players right now. And the third place Pirates are going to be talking about the first player, that is going to be Kevin Newman, the second baseman. Unlike real life, Kevin Newman has been absolutely spectacular for the Pittsburgh Pirates this season. Well, I wouldn't say spectacular, but definitely a very, very key player for us this season. Kevin Newman currently has 150 hits, with 10 of them going well over the wall on 36 walks. That's a batting average for a 284 with an on-base percentage at a 327. And a slugging at 417, giving him a total OPS of 744 for Kevin Newman. So he's been a very good middle infielder, and I'm using the words middle infielder because over this season we have used him at second, we have used him at shortstop. He has done very, very well for us on both sides of the infield. Things looking very well for him. Also, he has definitely been growing as a player. Looking at his development ratings and those overall attributes, you can see a +8 to lefties. He is finding a little more pop against those lefties, evening that out right there with the righties. Again, contact against righties has been very good as well, finding that pop. The defense is also growing. Not much of a speedster, not really going to be having those stats increased as well. Also, our team's chemistry not really building around speed, as you guys can tell. Really, Jai Juan Bay, who we're going to be talking about a little bit later, is one of the only guys that does have speed. So that is the first player of the day, is going to be Kevin Newman. And next player on the block is going to be Bryan Reynolds, the next batter for the Pittsburgh Pirates of this 2021 season. Bryan Reynolds is having a very un-Bryan Reynolds-like season compared to what he is doing in real life. Only a 259 batting average and a slugging of just a 422 and an on-base percentage at 317, giving that OPS a total of 739. Not really the best season out of Bryan Reynolds. Does have 14 jacks over the wall, so at least the power is a little bit consistent to what it was in 2019, but we definitely want to see that average increased how it was in 2019. We know Bryan Reynolds can be a star player for us, the Maryland-born 26-year-old, hoping to have a breakout season here in Pittsburgh. It is also worth mentioning Bryan Reynolds is currently in second place in Gold Gloves for center field in the National League. Bryan Reynolds currently with a 993 fielding percentage with 269 putouts, really able to range out there, and 13 outfield assists, showing off a great arm. Not like Cody Bellinger, who personally I think Bellinger should be winning the Gold Glove. I know Harrison Bader has been perfect, but with all those outfield assists and a fielding percentage of 997, Cody Bellinger is absolutely shining. So hopefully he wins it, but we will see. This game likes to fare fielding percentage over despite the assists and everything else. Moving on to the next player on the Buccos. And taking a look into the next player, that is going to be key Brian Hayes. Young Hayes is going to be batting a very, very respectful season for us so far. He has 12 home runs, also 13 stolen bases. Like we mentioned in a couple episodes, we've mentioned it very early in the season. Our goal was for Brian Hayes to have a 2020 season, 20 home runs and 20 stolen bases. It's not looking like he is really going to be able to approach that unless he has an insane end of the season, so not really looking likely, but a 280 average with a 788 OPS. The home runs really haven't been there exactly. Obviously not setting the world on fire like he was in 2020 in the 85 at-bats that he had, but in his first full season in a Pirates uniform, Brian Hayes has definitely excelled and has definitely really proven a lot to be a good Pittsburgh Pirate, especially on the defense. defense for things for Bryan Reynolds. Looking forward to him in the future. Next guy we're going to be talking about is Ji-Hwan Bae, the prospect shortstop. This is a guy that we definitely debated the Adam Frazier talks that we had at the trade deadline. We ended up keeping Adam Frazier, and he is going to be remaining a Pittsburgh Pirate. But looking into the future, Ji-Hwan Bae so far in 38 at-bats has been pretty decent. He has 6 stolen bases on 10 hits, one of them being a double, has sent 1 over the wall. So this prospect, only 20 years old from South Korea, is going to need a little bit more time in the minors, I think, before he is fully said and done and ready. But finally getting his first taste in September, it was a great time to do it. We are competing. Obviously, we are a competitive team right now, only 4 games out of the NL Central and only a game and a half out of the wild card race. Things coming to a close. Ji-Hwan Bae has to try to get his reps somehow. Moving on, Neil Walker, another middle infielder, utility guy that has been absolutely exceptional for the Pirates in 407 at-bats. 65 runs have been produced. He is going to have 172 total home runs, 23 home runs already on the season for Neil Walker, having an absolute phenomenal final season in a Pittsburgh Pirates uniform. Only 87 strikeouts on 50 walks, doing very well, nearly a 500 slugging. Neil Walker having a career high in slugging. The batting average has dipped down to a 258, but an OPS at 836 is also a career high as well for Neil Walker, doing very, very well in this send-off season. We have seen him at first base. We have seen him at left field. We have seen him at second and right. He has definitely done his time, and the Pittsburgh now veteran kid is going to be doing things very, very well at his age 35 season. And moving into what I believe is arguably been our greatest acquisition of the trade deadline, and that was a deal that we got from the Kansas City Royals, and we ended up getting first base. I don't want to call him prospect, but he's more along a minor league player that turned major league player, has shown great things here in Pittsburgh. The average was definitely a thing. Strikeouts were definitely a problem for this guy. So far in 64 at-bats, he's only struck out 16 times, a slugging near 600 with an OPS at 913. Obviously, the average is down, but he has 9 extra base hits out of 15 hits total, and 7 of those are over the wall for home runs. Not to mention that he's also walking about every time that he's hitting a home run, so he's getting on base. He is producing. Ryan O'Hearn has been an absolute steal from the Kansas City Royals and is absolutely breaking out, making things look very good, and really has been an excellent acquisition as we head deep into this playoff race, getting closer to the end of the season, as we're going to be talking into the next player right now. And diving into another great acquisition that has really given the Pirates the jump that they have needed. We definitely did not have a lot of power at bats, in adding people like Ryan O'Hearn and like this guy here, the Franmil Reyes, our left fielder. It's up for debate if you really want to call him a left fielder. I know he is more of a DH. A couple of you guys also mentioned in the comments down below, which I do appreciate every one of you guys that have been commenting. I do take every one of your suggestions into consideration, and we are going to definitely be moving forward. I know there's been some fielding things up to debate in the comments below. We're going to try to fix some of those things. We're going to try to do a lot, but we're going to be talking about Franmil Reyes as we head deeper into the season. He has been really, really well for us. I know he's only hitting 235, and we really haven't shown how great he has been, but he really hasn't been given the sample size that I think we want to talk about. This is a guy that is not really an outfielder, that we're kind of forcing into an outfield spot, and I think he's done exceptionally well. We've showcased a couple of the videos where he's made some diving attempts, sliding opportunities. He's also had some multi-home run games for the Pirates this year so far, so really taking that into consideration with what he was doing in Cleveland, where he was struggling pretty bad in Cleveland, I think we have picked up the pace for Franmil. He has 18 home runs on the season, an OPS at 761, the slugging at 435. Obviously, we want to see that 2019 Franmil Reyes come to life, or even that one that we've seen in San Diego in 2018 where he hit 280. I think that is kind of unlikely for him to be a high average guy, but I do think this guy is a 30, 40, maybe even 50 home runs if he can develop well in our system. He's only 25 years old. Maybe he's going to be a first baseman down the line. Maybe we'll try that out in spring training next year, but for now, Franmil Reyes remains in the outfield. for the rest of the season. And now talking about first baseman, this is one that nobody expected to be having the season that he has, and I know this numbers don't really show and they don't really shine, but he has been a very bright player in 66 games. Diego Flores, the first baseman, the rookie sensation from Nicaragua, is going to be hacking 9 home runs over the wall with a .239 batting average, and on-base percentage, that is the key number that you're going to be looking at, that on-base percentage at a .325 and a slugging at .426. He only has 28 strikeouts in 66 games. That's 176 at-bats, only striking out 28 times. That is not too bad. I will take that out of most of my players if I am being 100% honest. Also hacking a good bit over the wall. That is going to be a total of 14 extra base hits out of the 42. So he's definitely been a pretty good player. He has had some key moments in Pittsburgh as well. A couple walk-off victories for Diego Flores. He had that week where it seemed he was absolutely untouchable. If you guys do remember that one previously in a couple videos back. Not to mention that he is also the front runner for the Rookie of the Year. So down below, vote for Diego Flores in the comments below. Vote for why this Pittsburgh Pirates player needs to be the rookie, why you believe that this Pirates team has been performing the way that they have been, as Diego Flores, Tucupita Marcano, and Justin Turner are all three running down the line. Justin Turner having a nice season as well, and Tucupita Marcano, really the only thing holding him there is that batting average. Does not have any power right now, 0 home runs on 20 RBIs, but the Padres giving him opportunities as they've had a couple injuries between Cronensworth, Tatis, and a couple of their other infielders. Marcano has been the guy that has really filled the block for them well. As we are going to wrap things up in this portion of the video, we are done talking about the major leaguers. I know that there was a couple other guys. I do apologize if I didn't include your favorite players like John Ryan Murphy and those guys. We are also going to be talking about pitching at another point. I know we didn't really break down a lot of the pitchers, but truth be told, there's really not too much that we're going to be talking about with the pitchers just yet. So I do appreciate you guys. I know the pitching is a problem, but we all know they're struggling. Every one of them are. We know Kyle Crick's been doing good. I can only talk about him so much. So we're going to skip past those guys. We're going to get into the minor league players right now. And it is finally time to be breaking down the minor league players. I know you guys have asked for this a while, so we're going to currently break down the roster, talk about the guys, and then we will individually kind of talk about their stats and performances. So the first batter that we are going to be talking about is Sammy Ciani, one of the top guys in our organization. Ciani right now is only batting a .247 in 481 at-bats with 31 RBIs. Not really a power guy, but he is definitely more known to be a infielder, or not an infielder, but more of a fielder overall as his player development. He's a speedy guy. He's going to be the guy that's just leading off in the minor leagues. Not really too much to be talking about him. We're going to be getting into Steven Alamis, Cal Mitchell, Phillip Evans. We're going to be skipping over Chris Davis, and yes, you guys guessed that right. That is Chris Davis, the former Baltimore Oriole, the former home run slugger. Chris Davis found his way into a Pittsburgh Pirates, Indianapolis Indians uniform. He was on waivers. We needed a guy to fill the slot in. There he is due to injuries. Travis Swaggerty, we're going to be talking about as he is the DH against righties, and Christian Colon, third baseman, Joe Hudson, the catcher, and then we are going to be talking about center fielder Lolo Sanchez as we dive into the bench. Esteban Franco, Troy Stokes Jr., Christian Kelly, Brian Goodwin, and Dave Rosa. Not too much to be talking about in the bench. We will be mentioning Brian Goodwin in a bit. So this is the AAA roster, guys, as we dive into the first player, Steven Alamis, right now. And now taking a look at what Steven Alamis has done. Alamis has been one of those guys that really, at the beginning of the season, we were not expecting to be doing too much. He was in the minor leagues. I was like, we'll give him his shot. There's not a whole lot of depth right there as we were calling people up, moving people around. We made room for him in Cole Tucker in sending those guys away, as here is Steven Alamis batting .287 with 8 home runs on 53 RBIs with 348 total at-bats. Really nice season out of him so far. The shortstop looking good. He is currently 24 years old. The 5'11", 190-pound right-hander can also play some shortstop. Defense definitely is his strong suit. I kind of like him at second base because he's almost 6 foot. He's a tall guy. He's really has a chance to be a nice hitter, definitely developing nice. I think we're going to keep him down there. This might be a guy that maybe we could package to a team that needs a backup shortstop. Maybe we're going to use it. We kind of have a lot of middle infield congestion like we've talked about with people like Jaijuan Bay, with Adam Frazier, Newman, all these guys still around. I don't really know where Alemus fits in. I think, if anything, he's going to be a nice trade piece to be sending to a team to kind of package to get a really nice player down the road. And now moving on, we're going to be talking about right fielder, outfielder Cal Mitchell. Cal Mitchell was a guy that was in our AA system, was playing very, very well in AA. We decided to call him finally up to AAA due to a bunch of injuries, players not performing, giving some young guys some opportunities. And, well, Cal Mitchell has not slowed down, has not been a player that we really expected to be doing what he is doing, but he currently has an .824 OPS with a .275 batting average in the minor leagues in AAA in just 62 games and 218 at-bats. He's averaging nearly a hit a game. He is also a extra base machine. He has 8 home runs, 4 triples, and 14 doubles on the season. Things looking very well for Cal Mitchell, but he does have a couple strikeout problems so far. 71 strikeouts on the season. Not really something that you want to see. As we take a look at his attributes, he is also growing as a player. Already a pretty decent outfielder, but he is definitely gaining traction on that, and he has found the power swing as well. Definitely known to have some pop on the right side. Good left-handed batter. Only 20 years old, so we're going to see how he develops in the system. This is a guy that might end up being a player. We don't really know what we're doing with Polanco. We have a lot of other moving parts. Pretty much Bryan Reynolds. Is Franmil going to remain in outfield? We're going to move him to first. What does that do with Diego Flores? A lot of floating pieces in the puzzle that we're going to be discussing, but Cal Mitchell is definitely a guy that has turned himself into more looking into the future than out of the future for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And moving on, next batter, Phillip Evans. And Phillip Evans is pretty much the definition of a AAA utility player, and I really can't justify that. He's already 28 years old, a year into the Major League service. There's plenty of other players that are almost exactly like Phillip Evans that we can find at a rookie level, sign them for a cheaper contract next year. Is he really going to hang around with us? Probably not. He has been good in AAA. He has 10 home runs, .259 average with a .710 OPS, but he hasn't been great. He hasn't been bad. He's been Phillip Evans. He's been playing around the diamond. That's pretty much his only versatility, and at 28 years old, you're a AAA player. Things are definitely looking down. Besides the fielding, as you can see, the fielding is good. He has a strong arm. Is finding some power against the left side of the plate, but really the right side of the plate he struggled with. So despite crushing left-handed pitching, Phillip Evans really hasn't found any stride in AAA. So unfortunately, it's probably looking like this is going to be his last time in the organization. Maybe we sign him if we can't really find anyone, but it's definitely, the clock is kind of ticking with Phillip Evans. And moving on, this one is more than likely the most disappointing part of our minor league system, and that has been Travis Swaggerty. In the AAA organization so far in Indianapolis, he is only hitting .217, 11 home runs. The power has been there, but that's not really what we want. 35 RBIs, a .217 average. We put him down in AA to hopefully get that average up. He was continuing to struggle. Swaggerty already is a player that has been in the organization. We've been trying to develop him. As you can see, the numbers are growing, but I don't know, at already 22 years old in AAA, not hitting good, AA, not hitting good. He kind of seems like a guy that might do well somewhere else. A little change of scenery might do Swaggerty good for both sides. He's not going to really do much for us. He's kind of just wasting an A potential for us. Maybe we could trade him away, get a nice starting pitcher that we're going to need to develop, maybe another outfield piece, maybe even a nice relief arm, because we do need to work on that. But I think Swaggerty is more going to be a really heavy, deep trade piece that maybe we could package to get a MLB ready now player for the next season come that trade deadline. And fitting the theme for AAA, that is going to be Lolo Sanchez. Taking a look at Lolo's numbers, this is another guy very similar to Travis Swaggerty. We don't have him on the radar to trade. He's very young and an absolutely amazing fielder, already a Gold Glove potential MLB fielder, but the bat is just absolutely atrocious. It has not been good for him. We have mixed him between Altoona and Indianapolis like we have Swaggerty, and the numbers have also been on the decline. As we take a look at his stats, again, a .211 average, very similar to Travis Swaggerty's, but only 2 home runs, 19 RBIs, and 227 at-bats. The speed is there for the speedster Lolo Sanchez. Absolutely amazing defense, strong arm, great reaction, reads the ball very, very well. No threat to that, a all-or-nothing, do-or-die player in the outfield, but again, you can't hit, you can't really play, and we need a player that is going to be able to produce something for us, and right now Lolo isn't. He needs more time in the minors. I think he might even start the 2022 season out in the AA system, just kind of hoping that he can work things out a little better and then push him up into the first month of AAA, but we will see with Lolo Sanchez. And now talking about Brian Goodwin, the story with Brian Goodwin is, well, he has not been good and he has not been winning well at all. 69 power, both sides of the plate, and he has 1 home run in 41 at-bats after calling him down from the major leagues. He has also not performed here. Pretty much one of the only guys that has enough service time, though, to be called up to a potential Pirates system that needs players in that postseason with the Stallings injury. He's a guy that we need to start performing well, so hopefully Brian Goodwin can turn things around, or he is gonzo. And finally, talking about some of the good things that has been going on in the minor leagues, and one of those is Quinn Priester. He has been absolutely lights out since calling him up from AA Altoona. Priester has been the long reliever, just trying to give him some time, working him between some of the other guys, because the starting rotation, besides John King and Roansy Contreras, things have not been good. Priester getting called up, trying not to rush the very, very young arm of Priester. He has a .293 ERA with a 1.38 whip, striking out 53 batters over 76 and 2/3 innings with a winning record of 6-4. Number 84 looking very well so far in Indianapolis. Taking a look at the attributes so far, definitely growing in hits per nines, Ks per nine, the base on balls, home runs per nine, the pitching clutch, and even the control. So things are looking very good for the 19-year-old Illinois-born. Things hoping to be very well. A good mix of pitches between the 4-seam fastball and the 2-seamer, really nice deceptiveness on that, and then has the junk with the curveball, and then a nice nasty changeup to follow up. Hopefully Priester can be a front runner for this Pittsburgh's rotation as we head deeper into this franchise. And another bullpen arm that has been sizably well. This one, David Bednar, a .249 ERA with a 1.02 whip over 47 innings and 44 strikeouts. I want you guys to let me know down below. I know you got a couple of you guys have mentioned down below that you guys aren't bothered by me maybe bumping up some of these players' stats to kind of get them to the major league level. We all know David Bednar has arguably been the best reliever in the major leagues for the Pirates right now. So him in AAA kind of tearing things up in AAA makes me maybe want to bump him up to like a 69, 70 overall, just to kind of get him right into the majors where he needs to be to at least perform there. So I think we might move up that velocity, maybe the Ks per nine, things like that for David Bednar. You can see as well on his attributes, they're growing, they're not digressing. He's 24 years old. I want the Renegade in Pittsburgh. I think it needs to happen. You guys let me know down below. 2022, do you want to see David Bednar get a jump in his overall, see him in Pittsburgh, and have another Pittsburgh guy around for this franchise? Because between him and Neil Walker, things I think could really line up well, a passing of the torch, if you will, for this franchise. And the final guy that we are going to be talking about for today's video is going to be Roansy Contreras. Contreras is one of our top arms in this organization with a .395 ERA with a 1.40 whip over 119 strikeouts in 146 innings. Contreras has been very well for the Indianapolis Indians, hoping this is another guy that can perform and develop very well, just like every of our other minor leaguers. I do understand, guys, that I didn't really talk about a lot of the AA players. I know there's probably a couple guys that you might be interested in. Where are they? They might be down in AA. I do want to thank each and every one of you guys for tuning into today's video. I appreciate all the support that you guys have been giving on each and every video, and I do apologize for the lack of content. Things have kind of been crazy lately between work and real life and everything. Unfortunately, this is not my full-time job, so I have to take other things into consideration while I make these videos. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to wrap things up as we talk about Contreras' attributes. The Pirates 4 games back from first place, so hopefully the Pirates can take out the Chicago Cubs. We are 4 games back in just a game and a half away from that wild card, taking a look at how good Contreras has been developing as well. As we are going to wrap this video up. Hopefully you guys did enjoy today's video, and if you did, be sure to leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more amazing content, because only you can make a difference for today's channel, so your support is greatly appreciated. And with that being said, guys, I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.